Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're jumping right in today because we're talking about AI in business. And let's be real, adopting machine learning, it's not just some fancy option anymore. It's literally a survival imperative. We hear buzzwords like neural networks and cognitive intelligence thrown around all the time, right? But what does that actually mean for your bottom line today? Well, we're going to look at the data and see exactly how companies are using AI to completely, from the ground up, transform their operations. So let's start with this absolutely massive number, $40.6 billion. According to Tractica, that is the projected enterprise spending on AI systems worldwide from 2015 to 2024. And just to be clear, that is not consumer spending on smart speakers for the living room. That is pure, hardcore enterprise investment. Businesses are putting literal billions on the table to integrate intelligent systems right now. And honestly, this quote hits the nail right on the head when it comes to urgency. As author Callum Chase warns, the biggest risk to your business model actually isn't the technology itself. No, the real threat is your rivals who are already adopting it. Think about the taxi industry in Uber, or the sudden, massive shift towards self-driving tech. If you sit back and decide it just isn't worth your time to bother with machine learning, well, your competitors are going to use it to leap completely ahead of you. This massive sense of urgency completely shatters that old myth that AI is just for academics. For years, neural networks were viewed as these deeply geeky research topics, totally confined to university labs. But wow, the landscape has shifted. Thanks to massive data sets and exponentially faster computers, this tech has broken out of the lab. It is ready for you to adopt today. Now, I know there's a lot of anxiety around job losses here, but entrepreneur Lori Andriuk perfectly neutralizes that by reframing AI as a tool of evolution, not destruction. As she brilliantly points out, nobody complains that washing machines or dishwashers took away jobs, right? New forms of work will be created. It's exactly like how the Wright brothers' very first flight didn't instantly imply a future need for cabin crew. We just don't know what those new jobs will look like yet. So while we are totally used to seeing physical robotics on factory floors, like those massive automated car assembly lines, the real competitive disruption is actually happening invisibly. It's happening through cognitive intelligence. We're talking about software doing the heavy lifting on tasks that are either incredibly tedious or just way too massive in scale for human teams to ever realistically manage. Just look at how the major players are already embedding this intelligence. Google uses AI as the third most important weighting factor for producing its search results. That's huge. And over at Amazon, computer vision is literally directing teams of robots to pick from millions of items in their giant warehouses. They're applying intelligence to data at a scale that human groups simply couldn't handle manually, even if they tried. But hey, it isn't just big tech doing this. Over in London, Stratified Medical is using AI to spot hidden data patterns that humans just miss, and it is making the incredibly expensive process of drug discovery economically viable again. Their vice president noted that traditional drug discovery just doesn't make financial sense anymore. So what do? They use AI to reanalyze mountains of past data, finding highly inventive ways to reuse already discovered molecules for totally new treatments. We are also seeing these rapid-fire applications over in finance. Take a company called Rainbird. They're helping MasterCard capture the brilliant, hard-earned experience of their absolute top salespeople and baking it straight into their software. And this isn't some static, boring training manual. This AI learns over time how different teams optimize their work. It functions like a virtual assistant that actually spreads best practices across the entire team, making sure they always provide the right product to the consumer. Now, let's pivot for a second, because this enterprise shift is completely mirrored on the consumer side. Check out this staggering statistic from Gartner. By 2019, at least a quarter, 25%, of households in developed countries will be using virtual assistants. This growing consumer comfort with AI, it directly impacts how your business has to operate going forward, because your customers are going to expect instant, intelligent responses. And that shift takes us directly into what experts are calling a post-app world. Instead of juggling dozens of different apps on our phones, users are just going to talk to digital assistants. This huge move toward conversational commerce, where computers process and respond to our natural, everyday language, well, it provides instant gratification for consumers while simultaneously offering massive productivity boosts for enterprises. The tech actually evolves with every single interaction, creating genuine user centricity. To ground all of this in reality, let's look at the offices of x.ai. They are proving that this kind of automation is incredibly acceptable in our daily, everyday contexts. These aren't just wild science fiction concepts anymore. Real developers are building tools that integrate directly into the standard software suites that you and I use every single day. Their virtual assistant, Amy Ingram, is just the perfect example of this. Amy can autonomously negotiate and schedule your meetings for you. Literally, all you do is CC Amy at x.ai into an email chain. That's it. From there, Amy liaises with the other party using completely natural language, checks your Google Calendar or Office 365, and gets the meeting on the books. It completely removes all that tedious back-and-forth calendar coordination that we all dread.
Okay, moving right along to the Teneo platform, building conversational AI.
So if your business needs a highly specialized, customized AI to handle unique customer interactions, platforms like Teneo step in to automate the really complex coding. Rather than forcing you to hire an entire team of linguistic programmers, your business can instantly deploy an AI that handles 3 vital steps. First, it understands user intent, regardless of thousands of phrasing variations. Second, it remembers past user preferences. And third, it predicts the next move to execute complex requests seamlessly. It's basically about delivering a human-like conversation, but at a massive, massive scale. To see how powerful this is in action, look at how Shell brilliantly applied this exact technology to create their digital assistants Emma and Ethan. These assistants successfully guide global customers through tens of thousands of highly complex product specifications in their lubricants business. And they do it across multiple languages, including Russian and Chinese. Now, if you're sitting there wondering about the return on investment for building something so complex, well, the results speak for themselves. Implementing this conversational AI resulted in a massive 40% drop in Shell's call center volume. 40%! All while ensuring they supplied completely consistent and legally accurate answers. That is just a staggering efficiency gain for any enterprise. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your own workflows, your own data sets, and your customer journeys. Ask yourself this absolutely vital question. Will your business adapt to the conversational future, or will you be automated out of the conversation entirely? Because honestly, the technology is ready right now, and the companies that take the leap today are absolutely going to hold the competitive advantage tomorrow. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.